Bonjour, bonjour, mademoiselles et messieurs. Tonight we are talking about French perfume. Well, not only French perfume, but all the perfumes of the beautiful world.
You look like you should have a paintbrush.
I feel like I should have a paintbrush too. Yeah?
Pepe Le Pew.
Hey, it's Monday night, and that means that it must be time for Let's Talk About. We're running a little bit late because we're on Paris time.
Because we had to shoo the cows away from our backyard.
We had cows in our backyard. We're just... Kim's working away, she looks out and she goes, there's a Labrador in the backyard. I think we need to get your eyes tested, seriously. There were 15 cows. Anyway, yes. So I think we're pretty right for meat, as long as we have to be socially isolated. Thank you. Anyway, every Monday night we get together, and my name's Jeremy. I provide the comic relief, and this is Kim. She's a trained professional clinical aromatherapist, so she knows a thing or two. But tonight we're talking about scents and perfumes. Let's roll the music. This is our theme song.
While some of you get on, we just have a little dance to ourselves.
We do.
Let us know what your favourite perfume is below.
I'm feeling very French tonight. Eh?
Are you really going to sing it in a French accent?
I'm going to sing it in a French accent. Let's talk about perfume, baby. Let's talk about all
Eau
the
de
good
Cologne
things.
and Eau de Toilette.
Let's talk about perfume. Let's talk about perfume. Let's talk about perfume. Let's talk about perfume.
Alright.
Oh, let's talk about perfume. I'm going to have to get out of this accent, otherwise it's going to drive us all crazy. All right.
Okay, so I've always been interested in perfume, nearly my whole entire life. I remember when I was a little girl, my grandma gave me my very own perfume, and it was called 4711.
Oh, that was the spray? Ah!
Yeah. Just got to flick off a message,
I
sorry.
still remember the ad, yep.
So I had to keep that 4711 in the fridge.
Because it was icy.
Well, that's kind of what
Made
you
you
did.
feel cool.
But anyway, I always wanted to know how you made perfume, and like a lot of you, I used to crush up rose petals or lavender from Grandma's garden and put it in some water and spray it on, and after a while it'd go yucky and pretty feral actually. But that's how I tried to make perfume, and I didn't realise that that there was kind of an art to making perfume.
There's a lot of difference between men and women, really, aren't there?
Yeah, and when I was younger, especially whenever I knew someone would go overseas or I went overseas, I'd go to the duty-free shop and I'd stock up on all of the expensive perfumes. I had a box of perfumes that once I learned about the harmful ingredients in perfumes like phthalates and parabens and things that mess with our hormones, and I already had enough hormone problems, I didn't need to be adding to it every day by spraying it on me. I really had to just get rid of it.
Do you know a weird thing about that? Like, I always used to be terrified of the Maya perfume counter. Like, if I ever had to walk through there, you'd think it would be great, but I always found it quite overwhelming, and I realise now that it's because there were so many bad chemicals in there. Not to say that I didn't like perfumes, because I did, and obviously through the years I bought them for special people, but yeah, I had no idea just exactly what was in there. Hey, here's a quick question for you. Did you know that Tesla just released their perfume?
No.
Yeah, it's called Elon Musk.
Very funny, Jeremy.
Sorry,
that's
anyway.
hilarious. It's actually quite hard to make musk because, naturally,
it doesn't
because
smell
it
like
used to
anything
come
natural.
from obviously a gland in a certain animal called a musk, and then synthetically that's the only way they can really make it these days. So, but it's quite toxic because it contains those phthalates and parabens and all nasty ingredients that are in many perfumes. And the thing is, they don't have to tell you because they trademark the scent. And so you have no idea. There could be thousands of toxic chemicals make up that scent of that perfume. So that's why I make my own. And for years, I just used essential oils. I just put a dab behind my ears, on my wrists, anywhere. And that's all I used. And then once I sort of studied aromatherapy and I learned about blending, I started to create my own perfumes. And I've actually written my own perfume book. So if you don't have a copy of that, make sure you get it.
Yeah, what's it called?
Perfumes and Potions. So if you're interested in recipes or you want to learn more than what we're going to talk about tonight, then you should grab a copy of my Perfumes and Potions book.
Yeah, and where will you find it?
We'll put the link in the
Hot Oily Mama website.
Yeah, or if you're a member of our team, you can actually grab a copy for free.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right.
Now, does this only apply to women's perfumes?
No, you can make men's colognes as well.
Yeah. And as far as that goes, like, I guess one of the questions is, you know, you think about perfume, you just like, you know, dab, or if you're a guy, like, you know, slather, especially if you've got a big date. But how much damage is it doing? Like, you know, you'd think it's only a little bit, but
it accumulates over time. So if you added that together and looked at all the other chemicals, like it's like a chemical soup that some people are swimming around in, because by the time they get up in the morning and brush their teeth and wash their hair and put on makeup and spray their hair in hairspray and spray on some perfume and deodorant and all of those things, and if they're all toxic, then they're all going to add together and they're all going to impact on someone's hormones.
So I actually read a study about that which tested men's colognes, and they found that within 2 hours of a man using cologne on the outside of their body, they could actually trace the phthalates in their urine. So if you ever wonder whether this stuff gets into your body, yes it does, and it gets in quite quickly. Anyway, sorry.
So usually they classify perfumes by the main scent that it smells like. So you things like florals. So florals, your rose, your ylang-ylang, your lavender. Well, lavender is more so a herbal.
Is that a middle note one?
Oh, we're not talking about middle, top and base notes yet. We're going to get to that.
Sorry.
Or you can say your earthy ones, which are your patchouli and your vetiver. Your woodsy ones are like your tree stuff, your cypress, even cistus, all of those kind of tree type ones. Spicy ones, so if it's got a lot of black pepper or cloves, cinnamon, they're all spicy. Your fruity perfumes are usually your, you know, orange, lime, lemon, bergamot, even neroli. So a little trick, something I'm going to tell you, is that in Australia at the moment we don't have neroli essential oil, but you can actually make a scent that is very, very similar to neroli by mixing, say if you want 2 drops of neroli in a recipe, you actually add 1 drop of petitgrain and 1 drop of tangerine, okay? So 1 to 1, and it can make that similar scent to neroli.
Okay, and speaking of neroli, what does that smell like?
It smells like the 4711 that my grandma gave me when I was a child.
It does.
All right, so there's a difference. When we talk about perfumes or parfum, we're talking about a really strong amount of essential oils in that. That's why they're more expensive, okay? So there are a lot of essential oils and not much alcohol. We tend to, in our perfumes, we use vodka.
That's no reflection on us in any way, shape, or form. Why do we use vodka?
Well, Danae, I mean, obviously I've used vodka all along, but the brand that I got onto, because Danae told me, was actually called Ciroc. And it's distilled, I think, 5 times, and it's a French vodka. And of course, they know how to make perfumes and they know how to make vodka. And it's a really, like, it has a low scent. So if you're making perfumes yourself and you're adding like the vodka to the essential oils, you can more smell the essential oils rather than being able to smell the vodka.
Which is why you don't use beer making perfumes. Because then you constantly smell like you've just come back from the pub.
Yes, whereas if you use cheap vodka, then it will smell like vodka-ish. Yeah. And then your next one is your Eau de Parfum, so, you know, more vodka. And the other thing that is in all perfumes, even Eau de Parfum, is a little bit of distilled water. The more distilled water you add, and if you add it too early in the mixing process, it can make your oil, like your perfumes, go a bit cloudy. But it is even like a couple of drops is in an Eau de Parfum. Is in a parfum, and then you've got more. So basically it goes parfum, Eau de Parfum, and then Eau de Toilette. And they've got, and then I think it's Eau de Cologne, like it just goes down with less less essential oils and more vodka and water to the.
Then it's basically the cheap shop.
Yeah. So when we make perfumes, we always have a mix of notes. So it's like musical notes. So you have your top notes, your middle notes, and your base notes. Now, when I make perfume, I always add the base notes to the bottle first. Okay, so your base notes are things like vanilla. So, if you are making perfumes and you want to add vanilla, we actually sell in our Hot Oily Mama shop, another plug.
This is shameless tonight. Who's sponsoring this?
We sell clear vanilla because it's really hard to get clear vanilla in Australia.
Mexican clear vanilla.
You don't want to be adding the brown stuff because it makes your perfumes go brown. So your base notes are your heavier notes, okay? So they're going to make up 20% of your blend. So if you decide that you want to put in, say, well, I'm probably not going to put 100, but let's just say you're going to put 10. So that my maths is really easy. You're going to put 10 drops into your bottle of essential oils. So 2 drops of that need to be the base notes. So they could be your black spruce. Okay, so black spruce is a really common oil in Valor. It's very grounding, smells beautiful. Your frankincense, your myrrh, your sandalwood, your patchouli, your vetiver, all those really thick, very earthy kind of oils tend to be your base notes.
They smell thick, don't they?
Well, and they even look thick. They're harder to drip out of the bottle. Even things like, blue cypress, they can be all base notes. So, but the role of base notes is to basically hold the oil or fix the oil to your skin, so that when you spray it on your skin, the base notes are what's left. So the top notes, they sort of flash off and they're what goes and evaporates quickly, but they're the first things that you smell. So usually when you spray perfume on, you can smell those top notes, and then it goes to the middle notes, and the middle notes hold the top notes and the base notes together, and you can even get fixative notes, but I'm not going to talk about that today because that's in the book. But base notes, middle notes. So in middle notes, we put in 50%, so that's 5 drops in our 10. So it was 2 drops of the base notes, 5 drops of the middle notes. So your middle notes are your clary sage, your lavender, your ylang-ylang, lemongrass. I've got an extensive list in the book anyway, and geranium. You can look up lots of different websites, and not everyone agrees on what is a top, middle, or base note. And the thing is, some notes go across. So jasmine is one that, depending on what else you mix it with, can make it a top, middle, or a base note. And same with rose. Like sometimes you'll see rose listed as a base note because it is rather heavy and earthy, and then other times the rose will be the top note in the perfume. And the top notes make up 30%. So they're your basil, bergamot, eucalyptus, lemon, lime, orange, all of those sweet kind of, top notes. And they make up 30% of your perfume.
Wow.
So if you've got 10 drops, that's 3. So 3, 2 of your base, and 5 of your middle notes. So as I say, I tend to go in order. I put the base notes in first, and then I put the middle notes, then the top notes. I actually like to create my blends, and I smell them, and I leave them for about 4 days so that they can synergize together before adding the vodka, and I add that, and then I leave it another 2 days before adding the distilled water. So
the scent kind of ripens and develops as you leave it, is that right?
Well, I just think it makes a more synergistic smell to it. And, like I've experimented with all kinds of perfumes, and the perfumes, Jeremy's got them down here on the floor, but the ones that we made for the book, we actually made them after real life people, because my daughter had a birthday party in September last year.
That was
Caitlin, and her and her friends wanted to make some perfumes because all little girls want perfumes, but I didn't want them to be exposed to toxic chemicals. So we sat down, I got them to go through my whole essential oil kit, choose out scents that they liked, and then I created perfumes based on the scents that they liked. And I might have added in, if they chose all top notes, I added in some middle and some base notes to complement those. And that's what these perfumes are all about.
And interestingly, they reflect the character of these girls, don't they?
Yeah.
That one's really Caitlin. Yeah.
So Caitlin, she wanted it to be like a summer icy popsicle kind of thing.
Yeah,
so
it's real sweet, light one.
Very sweet, yeah. Whereas my other daughter Tegan, she's much into the heavier rose, kind of scents, and so that's named after her. Then all of their friends, we created perfumes for them as well, and that's
Nina.
basically.
I like Nina. There we go, Nina. So what was it?
So Well, Nina's quite sweet as well. Kira actually smells like the 4711. That's kind of like my version of Kira. Anyway, that's basically how you make perfumes. Is you choose from your top, middle, and base notes, and then you know, like if you're doing 10 drops and you want to choose 2 base notes, so maybe you want to choose sandalwood and frankincense, then you can do 1 drop of each. You know, obviously these bottles have actually got closer to 50 drops of essential oil in them because they're 50 ml, actually they're 60 ml perfume bottles. So the bigger the bottle, the more essential oils you're going to have to put in.
So say you're using like 10 drops in total.
10 drops like in a roller perfume if you're putting carrier
just in a,
oil.
in a 15 ml or something?
10 ml roller.
In a 10 ml roller,
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But you know, if you want to get into really making perfumes, then you need to include a lot more essential oils into the bottle, and then, as I say, the vodka and a little bit of distilled water. In the back of the book is actually a form that you can use to help create your own perfume. So if you don't want to make any from the book and you want to get into creating your own perfumes, then you can actually use the sheets at the back of the book to craft your own beautiful creations.
Now, you've made a few perfumes along the way.
I make a lot of perfumes.
So tell me about this one, because Diamond, this one was. Where did we give these out?
We gave them out to our team at Mastermind. Basically,
last year, wasn't it? Last year.
Yeah. So, yeah. And I also included crystals in it. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah. So, because the other thing about perfumes, as you know, with essential oils, is they can have such an emotional effect, don't they, too? It's not just they smell good, but they actually impact on your mood and
Yeah, and they can help cement affirmations. So if you're big on affirmations,
Yeah.
use scents to actually help lock in those affirmations.
Yeah.
Power of smell is amazing.
Can I share a couple of quick ones? And I know this isn't a perfume, but one thing I've been using recently is Hinoki. Do you know much about Hinoki?
I know that it's a wood, so it would actually be a woodsy.
It is a woodsy smell.
And I would be tempted to say that it's either a base or a middle note.
Yeah, I think you probably use it. Well, you could probably use it for both, but I'm just thinking.
Oh, actually, it's got that.
It's got a little bit of a top thing happening as well.
Yeah, it's probably eucalyptus. It's got a eucalyptol smell.
But
similar to black pepper and rosemary have that same eucalyptol smell.
But just for guys out there, it's really interesting. So I've been using Hinoki quite a bit recently. I just like the smell, but also I like how it makes me feel. And of course, it's hard to beat my old friend Shutran, which is, how would you describe it? I know it's a blend, but would you call it a cologne as well?
Yes, it's more like a cologne.
Yeah, and I'll just give Kim a smell because it's created by Gary to turn women on. There we go. All right, it's going to be a good night.
I just saw that Justine's watching, and 3 of the perfumes are named after her daughters, Jordan, Jessie, and Kira.
And they're great perfumes too.
Yeah.
Alrighty, anything else that you want to say?
No, that's it.
If you can
go out and make your own perfumes, create them.
Yeah.
Everyone can do this.
And that's the thing, you don't have to be a clinical aromatherapist to do this stuff. Start small so that you're not putting, 80 drops of oil in. But yeah, why not try it?
Yeah.
Why not try it? And it's at the end of the day, it's what you like and what you appreciate.
And if I can give you one tip, always write down exactly how many drops that you use, because I know from personal experience, I've made awesome perfumes and I didn't write down the recipe. And do you think I can recreate it? No, I can't.
Kim made one for some members of our team, which was fantastic. It was just awesome.
And I haven't been able
to
recreate it since because I didn't write down the recipe.
So yeah, keep track of what you're doing. Guys, it's always a pleasure to hang out with you. If you have any comments, put them down below. We're always interested too in what you'd like us to talk about on Monday nights. So we're very open to that. And as Kim said, give it a try. That's the beauty of oils and all this stuff is play with it. Have a good time.
Yeah. All right. Good night, guys.
See ya.
Bye.